So, welcome to another episode of The Blind View on Becca's World. And this is your host, Miss Rebecca Meadows.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us today here on The Blind View on Becca's World on Rumble, and we are streaming on many other platforms too. So whatever platform you're watching us on, I invite you, I even implore you to please make sure you're subscribed and that you get our notifications so you'll know every time we go live. My co-hosts Anya and Brandon are with me tonight. How are you guys?
Doing wonderful as always. Hi, everyone.
Hello, everybody. This is Brandon Miller doing good. It's just about Christmas, so that's exciting.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
So what do you guys have planned for Christmas?
Yeah, that's what I actually wanted to talk about. It's so close to Christmas, so I just for my topic, if you will, I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about what you guys typically do for Christmas. Do you guys do any holiday baking? What's your favorite dishes are? Just to bring in some holiday spirit.
Um, I don't really have anything I do every year, but I can talk about some of the funnest things I've done in my life for Christmas. Like I've been Christmas caroling at different points in my life once or twice with friends and family, and that was always a lot of fun at Christmas time. Have either of you been Christmas caroling?
Oh,
No, I
yes,
have not.
many times.
What about you, Anya?
No, I have not. The Colorado. I started my program in January, so I kind of missed that opportunity because they have a tradition there. Well, when Tom Anderson, well, he already not with us unfortunately, but when he was working there as a Braille instructor, and he had a very powerful, strong voice, and they would take CCB students and just go to the light rail station, and they would just
Oh,
sing Christmas carols. And to be honest, pretty happy.
you're breaking up, Anya, and we actually missed the first.
Well, I
Oh,
heard Anya say something about the very well established and they have high regard, high repute Colorado Center for the Blind, the CCB.
Woo!
yeah.
Amen.
Breaking up. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was just saying that they have a tradition. They used to have a tradition when Tommy Anderson was alive and worked there. They would go to the station and they would do some Christmas caroling there.
To what
But
station? Can you repeat the name of the station because you cut out?
rail, just light rail.
Oh, the light rail station. Okay.
Uh huh. But I was pretty happy that I missed it because it's not really my thing. I don't do
Speaking of the CCB, when I was doing research about what NFB training center I wanted to attend, I was calling the different centers, and I actually even went and toured some of them. And when I toured CCB, I found out that part of their curriculum is mountain climbing. And, and that was one reason, well, that was the biggest reason I chose not to apply to CCB. It was actually closer to Montana where I was living at the time.
Uh huh.
But yeah, I just was scared of the rock climbing. Did you do rock climbing then at CCB?
I did, but it was my least favorite activity. Did a lot
Can
of
you
great. Rock climbing sucked to me for me.
can you tell us about it? What's like, you know what I mean? And how did you guys do it? Like, can you share
Well,
with our viewers?
yeah, we went area I don't even know somewhere in the mountains, and there's what?
Were you laughing
So
at me?
You're just funny. Anya, I think you've been spending too much time with the Grinch. You're like, caroling sucks. Oh, this rock climbing, mountain climbing thing sucks. And we went somewhere, I don't even know where we were, in a mountain somewhere.
I don't know. Well, Becca asked me about rock climbing, so
I agree with Anya on all those points, and I thought it was pretty fascinating to listen to her. So can you continue, Anya?
I mean, instability of it. Like you have to know where to put your next. What you put go up and then how to move. I did not have any experience. I ripped my pants. So
Yeah.
they
I love
filmed
the NFB and I love their training centers, but some of the experiences I've had, I felt like a fish out of water, and I felt like I didn't belong there. Because the NFB likes to put blind people in precarious situations, to test
Well, I
us.
did enjoy. For
Well,
you,
I
Brandon.
appreciate that you added that, Becca. I was going to say, I mean, because I think everyone would agree in psychology and psychiatry and behavioral specialists.
Yep.
It can sometimes be good to get out of your comfort zone so that you can grow and develop as a person.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Well, I did enjoy white. It was fun.
Did you go whitewater
And the
rafting?
whitewater rafting.
Okay, because you broke out there. I didn't hear what you said, or you broke up. Can you tell us about the whitewater rafting? I've always wanted to do that.
Well, it's been. I did it back in 2012, so it's been a
Uh-huh.
minute. Fun, you
Oh.
get into the in case into the this boat. It's very but it's going pretty not super. You get splashed. It's a fun summer activity.
Did anybody else get that? Because she broke up really bad.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
What's
I mean,
going on?
I got the main gist of it, but there was, quite. Yeah, I don't know if maybe you can use a hotspot or anything, or if Wi-Fi is available. I don't know what the you know, but I did get that you did it in the year 2012, so it was a while ago, but that you generally did have fun doing it.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go whitewater rafting, so maybe someday I'll do that.
I have done it and I loved it, but you ladies may be getting the sense. If so, you are correct. If not, let me just tell you, I am an adrenaline junkie. So I love roller coasters. I love whitewater rafting. I love windsurfing. I love paragliding. It's I like all that kind of stuff. I mean,
You
it's.
ever bungee jumped?
I've never bungee jumped and I've never skydived. And honestly, I think I would rather skydive than bungee jump. I don't know. For some reason, it actually feels safer to me to skydive.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe paradoxically, because I mean, at least bungee jumping, you're a little lower to terra firma, to the planet, But I don't know. I see. I just love the idea though of skydiving. I mean, the vantage point and again, it's that adrenaline, right? It's that exhilaration, right? Of
Oh, yeah.
knowing that I am not closer to the earth and I'm going to jump out of a perfectly good plane.
Brandon, I love your excitement about it. I find your excitement exhilarating, but you terrify me because I'm terrified of heights and the idea of jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. Does that make sense to me?
Well, and I think it would be a little bit too difficult in the sense of it would require a little bit too many accommodative techniques for me to work as what they call a lineman, an electric lineman. But in my heart, though, I feel like I would do that job, if I had the training and I thought I could do it at the same degree of proficiency and nearly the same degree of speed as other electric linemen, because it's like, well, if I mess up, I'm going to be fried to a crisp in a few seconds anyway. So I mean, how about I just not mess up? Okay, that's really my goal, is to just not mess up. I mean, so because electric linemen, they deal with crazy situation, hundreds of thousands of volts and watts and amps going through a line and way up off the ground. They're way up there on top of the power lines. Oh.
What do you think,
Sounds
Anya?
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds scary. I'm a junkie myself, but diving is
Yeah.
maybe if I gave it more thought, worked up some maybe, but as of do it.
Yeah.
Did you
But we
guys
need
hear me
them
okay?
though. We need them like because when sleet makes it gets real heavy on the power lines and they fall down and
Oh,
stuff. I
yeah.
mean, we need them.
We need the gosh, what did they used to call them? High wire guys or something? The guys that would fix the power lines. And those guys, they wear spikes. They have spikes on their boots so they can walk right up the side of the wooden telephone pole. Do you guys know that?
That's the personnel I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean that's a
Yeah,
pretty
it's really
dangerous
cool.
job, but we need them though.
Yeah, yeah. It probably is a pretty dangerous job, but yeah, it's pretty amazing what they do. The guys that
But I mean, I didn't mean to make this about dangerous living. I'm just saying, I also enjoy whitewater rafting and parasailing, and now I will say that rock climbing is well, I've done it twice actually, and I enjoyed it. I mean, but it's just funny that both of you ladies didn't really enjoy it. But I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing that Anya did not really enjoy it. But I'm just saying this her perspective hit me as comical because she just it
Oh,
seems like she's been hanging around the Grinch like I don't like it and it sucked and it was horrible and it was terrible.
Oh wait, I told you I liked skiing and whitewater rafting. So
yeah. And
Oh, and
I
you
have
did
to
like
like,
skiing, okay?
yeah,
yeah, I did.
and yeah, like I have to agree with Anya though. Like like I said, I researched the NFB schools before I applied to one, and I mean, Denver seemed really nice, and the people seemed really nice, and it was pretty close to Montana where I was living at the time, but it was totally the rock climbing that made me decide not to go there.
Well, you could have just picked a different time. They do rock
Yeah,
climbing only in the summertime.
yeah,
But if you start in the fall through winter, you would have been okay.
yeah, yeah. Um, you're right.
Well,
Did you
Um,
guys?
so Becca, where did you train? I didn't even know that like how, I don't know really anything about your training. Where did you train?
so I actually started my training at Blind Ink up in Minneapolis because I'm originally
Woohoo!
from Minneapolis and I have a lot of friends and family up there. And so my ex-husband and I, we were renting a house in Minneapolis, and I was going to Blind Ink, and we were there for a year. And Blind Ink is also a really great school, but oh my gosh, the snow up there, like in Minnesota, they measured their snow in feet, just like we used to do in Montana. And like,
Mm-hmm.
so
Which year did you go?
I was there in 2013, I think it was.
Oh, really? I worked there. I worked there as an English teacher from 2017 through 2019.
Oh, you did?
Huh?
Oh, Anya, that's so cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure it was because I couldn't do anything while I was locked under that guardianship. And I got out of that guardianship in 2012. So it was after that that I went there and toured the school. So I'm pretty sure it was like 2013 because I wound up moving down here in 2015 and I was in Minneapolis at the school in 2014. So
Oh, okay. Okay. I just moved to Arizona in 2016, so we moved at kind of a similar time.
where'd you come from, Brandon?
I came from California. I did not grow up there, thank goodness. I was out there for work, but I just got tired of no ability to move either vertically or laterally, and I heard, oh well, there's an opening out in Arizona, so I said, let's go. So.
Oh, well, that sounds great. So that's where you were living and working before you came to Arizona. Where were you born and where'd you grow up?
No, so I'm from the Ozarks. I was born in Springfield, Missouri, and grew up kind of around Joplin, Missouri. So
Oh,
um,
wow.
pretty diametrically opposed to a lot of, especially nowadays, but even back then to Californian politics. So
Yeah. Well, you don't even seem to have a Mississippi accent. So,
no Missouri, no,
oh,
not Mississippi,
Missouri.
but I get along with them just fine. I get along with almost anybody just fine. But
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I just thought I'd be able to sense an accent in your voice, but I don't. So
Well, I've tried to get it out, to a certain degree. I can't totally get rid of it, but people, oh, you're just a country bumpkin, It's like,
that's
no,
so.
no, that's not accurate, but people think that, so I've tried to,
So
you
what
know.
do you what so getting back to some of our topics, what do you guys think about all of these criminals that President Biden has been pardoning or uh, whatever that word is, converting their sentences or whatever, commissioning. I don't know what the word is.
Commuting.
Commuting, yeah, commuting their sentences. What do you guys think of that?
Well, sorry, I was trying to wait and see if Anya wanted to weigh in first. I always like to have ladies go first, but I haven't dug deeply into the issue. I've heard that the most of the ones that he did that for are again, what I heard on the news are guilty of relatively low level things. But I mean, I say relatively, right, because I mean they were on federal death row, so it's not like they stole a candy bar from the 99-cent store, you know. So yeah, I'm not happy about it.
My understanding is that some of them, they're not all low level crimes. Some of them have committed murder. There's
I
a
believe
woman,
it.
like some of them have even committed murder, the people whose sentences they commuted. People are typically on death row because they have committed the worst of the worst heinous crimes, right?
Correct.
And
That's my understanding. Yeah.
yeah, and for President Joe Biden to just decide to open the door and let them all out, I don't get it.
Well, I think they have to, remain in prison without the possibility of parole, right? It's a life sentence without the possibility of parole. But I also think, I just think it sends the wrong message, and plus, taxpayers are going to have to continue to use our money to feed them and provide medical care for them. And, I don't, I just think it sends the wrong message.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at on the whole thing.
Alexa, what time is it?
It's 6:19 p.m.
Yeah.
And then I think it's pretty ironic that Kathy, what's her name, Kathy Hochul or Hochul, whatever. Anyway, over in New York, was talking about how, the New York subway is very, very safe and very good and efficient and clean. And then here lately we've had a bunch of murders on the New York subway system. It's like,
Did you hear about the woman that was set on fire and burned alive on the subway? I believe that
I
just happened
did.
this morning. Yeah, that was terrible.
I did. And yes, and that was done by, I believe, an illegal alien.
Yeah.
Who did, who was not legally in this country, Guatemalan, who was not legally in this country.
Yeah, one thing I'm noticing about all of these illegals that are running around killing American citizens, they're using like new and exotic techniques, not involving guns a lot of times. Like this guy that just set the woman on fire and burned her to death, Like that's one thing I don't understand about our crazy government. It's like they think criminals will obey laws, you know what I mean? Like they'll just do what they expect them to do, and that's just not how criminals work. Like if you take away their guns, they'll find another way to kill, you know what I mean?
Oh, of course, and this is right, and this has long since been, the argument of people like me, and it sounds like you. I mean, yeah, and like for instance, I am curious to hear, the reason why this person is even going to say he did that. I mean, that's so horrific, because I mean, it makes it sound like he just. I mean, anyway, I didn't hear that like they were arguing or anything. She was just, she kind of was dozing, and he just walked up to her and lit her on fire. I mean, I don't even know the reason. It's disgusting.
I suspect the reason is It's probably terrorism. Because think of the terror that is going to put in the hearts and minds of American citizens, that they might be lit on fire if they go out in public and run into one of these people. You know what I mean? Like, or they might get knifed, or we might be killed with what is it? What are those curved swords called that they use in foreign countries? Gosh, I don't
Like a
even remember.
katana?
No, it starts with an S. It's a Japanese sword and it's curved. Because we have people coming to our country from foreign countries now, and they're bringing new and exotic weapons and new and exotic ways of killing people into our country. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying? And we're not prepared for any of it. What were you saying, Anya?
I said I'm back. I had to leave because I hear you guys very well. You couldn't hear me, so we restarted the internet.
Okay, good.
Hopefully it's better now.
Yeah,
It does seem better.
We're talking about we were talking about the crime on the subway in New York, and Anya, did you hear about the lady that was set on fire and burned to death by an illegal on the subway? What?
Let's take a quick commercial break.
Okay, great.
This is
Ladies
our
and-
new music for the break. Is our holiday music.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stay with us. We'll be right back after these messages. Hi, it's me, Rebecca S. Meadows, the author, with my new book, Living on Borrowed Time, The Ravings of an Angry Survivor of Traumatic Brain Injury and Guardianship Abuse. It's available on Kindle Digital Download, Amazon Print on Demand, and on Audible. Please go check it out. And now, back to the show.
All right, we are back, and go ahead and jump back in with the topic. We're talking about the subway. Oh,
yeah,
gosh,
I didn't
it was so
hear
terrible.
that. Yeah, I briefly heard, I can't remember where, but there was no article I read or anything like that. So if you have information, do tell.
Yeah, it was a woman on the subway, and I believe it happened this morning. At least I heard about it this morning, and it appeared to be breaking news. But this woman was set on fire on the New York subway by an illegal alien, and she burned to death right there on the subway. And he watched her do it. Like, there's a video of him watching her do it.
Wow, that's wild.
Well, and I mean, there were law enforcement on scene at the time, but they were on a higher level. I mean, they weren't like right there at the train entrance. Of course, they were doing their job, and it is my understanding that people did, they were able to bring a fire extinguisher, but unfortunately, I mean, my gosh, it's horrifying. But by the time, that they got there with it, I guess it was too late.
Wow, but did they know each other?
If you guys would like me to do just a quick little rundown, this is from ABC News. This really did happen. I'll just read briefly. An undocumented immigrant was charged with setting a woman on fire, killing her as she slept in the New York City subway. Horrific alleged crime. Well, I don't see how it's an alleged crime when the man has been charged and she was set on fire and she did die. So I don't see how that's alleged, but officials calling it beyond comprehension. Suspect has been identified by the police as 33-year-old Sebastian Zapata. Was taken into custody hours after the incident.
So I did not misspeak. I mean, they use the term undocumented. I use the term illegal alien, and I do not apologize for that. He did not come into this country using the legal and lawful processes that have already been clearly established and are, ratified on the books already. And also, did you guys hear kind of to your point, moderator Marks, Luigi Mangione pleads not guilty. How in the high heaven are you going to plead not guilty, Mangione? So that's the guy that killed the former CEO of United Healthcare, shot him 6 times with a gun, pleaded not guilty today.
Wow. How can
maybe it was yesterday.
How can you even say if it's obviously you did it?
Yeah, I don't, and it's just like that article refers to it. I mean, I understand that probably because maybe the charges haven't officially been filed as actual, documentary evidence. Maybe perhaps that's why they say alleged crime at this point. I mean, I understand we have to be careful with our wording. I do understand that. And still, I make no apologies for the way I described this Guatemalan, monster that just casually went and set this lady on fire. I mean, nobody knows why. Again, even that article doesn't indicate that they were arguing, that they were in a disagreement, that they were, rivals of any kind. It doesn't indicate that. It's just, she was dozing on the train, fell asleep a little bit, and just got set on fire. It's despicable.
Wow. But do you know if they knew each other or it was just a random stranger?
I don't know. But it does. I mean, it doesn't sound like they knew each other.
Well, it doesn't make it any better or worse. I'm just curious, if.
Yeah, I mean, it's outrageously heinous. So I think he should get the death penalty.
What I'm gathering from reading the ABC News article, they have not identified the victim, but it seems completely random. She was asleep. He just went up to her, lit her on fire, and then just casually walked off the subway. It's pretty disturbing. It's pretty terrible. Right before Christmas.
Does it say how he set her on fire? Like what exactly?
He lit her clothes on fire. She was asleep.
See, and that's what I was going to mention is like, I mean, I don't know, different fabrics probably ignite quicker, but it's like also, because of like I don't know if you guys know about the factory incident that changed, fashion design forever basically. But it's like nowadays, usually we have, fire retardant materials in most clothing, I think. So it's like, he must have held that lighter. It's like, just thinking about the grim details. It's like, how would you do that? Like, I mean, it's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's unfathomable. I just don't even know what to say.
Because I mean, what I'm saying is like, if you wear, and I don't know, what she was wearing, but if you're wearing a t-shirt or even like a dress, I mean, I don't think those are going to be immediately flammable. It's not, and that's the other thing. It's like he didn't use an accelerant or anything like gasoline or alcohol or anything. So it's just, the whole thing is disturbingly disgusting.
Yeah. Well, maybe he did. Maybe her hair caught on fire because the hair burns really fast.
All right. So Becca is waving. I don't understand. Becca, are you all right? Okay, we can't hear you. Becca, did your mic fall or something? Is it not plugged in?
Huh.
Night we're
what the
having
world?
tonight.
Yeah. Technical difficulties.
Yep.
Which is odd. Does it have a mute button built in? Maybe that got pressed or something?
Okay, I'm removing Becca from the stream. Hold on a second. I'm going to call her. You guys just go ahead and continue the conversation.
Sure. Sure, we can continue the conversation. But let's talk about something more exciting. I mean, it's just terrible what's happening for sure, but we still should try to make the best out of the season, out of the time.
Oh, I agree. I was going to say, in terms of heating things up in a good sense, one of our traditions, which is a little bit atypical for Christmas, is to make enchiladas.
Oh, okay. I did that one year for Christmas, actually, myself.
Did you?
When I lived by myself, and I made some enchiladas, yeah. Hello?
Okay, wait. Maybe the host is back.
You're there. We can hear you. Nope. Press it again, Beck.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Becca!
Sorry, guys. I guess I muted myself.
Apologize for the difficulties. We bought Becca a fairly advanced microphone. Unfortunately, on the front of it, if you just tap the front of the mic, it's a quick mute.
Yeah, and of course, being visually impaired, I knock it off my desk.
And this is the first time she's using the mic.
Yeah.
Sorry. So go ahead, guys.
Oh, Brent was just sharing that we were making enchiladas for Christmas, and they have.
Yes, that is our tradition for
Oh,
Christmas.
oh. Do you make cheesy chicken enchiladas or what kind of enchiladas?
Absolutely. You have got it with a mixture of red and green sauce. You know, the green sauce for the flavor,
Oh,
the red sauce for the heat.
Uh
uh-huh.
huh.
Um, oh, yeah. Get some cumin in there. Mm.
Oh my gosh. I used to make cheesy chicken enchiladas a couple times a year for all my friends and family, and it was usually a big Christmas tradition.
That's
Oh,
Um,
you
good.
guys did it for Christmas also, huh?
oh yeah, I did it a couple times for Christmas.
I gotcha. Well, and I know here in Arizona, it is tamale season, so maybe I'll go out and get some tamales from. And we've recently had laws changing here, so more people will be able to distribute food. I'm kind of excited about that.
Oh,
I
I
was
didn't
just going
know.
to mention tamales. I was gonna say that on Christmas people also eat tamales, and here you are.
Is this
Yeah,
the way the laws have changed, Brandon, about food distribution?
yeah, I mean, it's my understanding. Of course, I'm not an expert or a specialist on it, but it's my understanding that more vendors that operate things like food trucks are gonna have greater ability to serve food. And I mean, there was definitely some concern about, oh, we need to make sure it's safe, yada yada yada. But I mean, to me, it's like, well, I mean, I don't think that any reputable vendor is going to purposefully sicken anybody. I mean, you can't really have business grow if you're poisoning people or making them sick on purpose. I mean,
Well, I beg to differ, my friend. I'm from
do
the
you?
country where the food was not heavily regulated. I mean, you did have sense or whatever, but you could eat street food. I personally had hot dogs at a station with my friend. So we've and ketchup was sour, like it was tired. So
Anya, I love you, sweetie, but you're breaking up so bad. Like, we really got to do something about your situation before our next show because you're like a big part of the show and you're cutting out so bad.
yeah, I can't my provider, and I don't know. This is the first time it's happening. I don't know.
Right. I wonder if it's maybe there's a lot of people using the internet right now, so maybe it's more edgy.
Yeah, maybe so. But I was just saying that with hot dogs with rotten ketchup.
Oh,
That yeah. So
Well, and
it's
that could happen. I don't dispute that could happen. Um, but again, I just my personality. I mean, I'm willing to risk it. I mean, obviously, I mean, you got to you got to try it. Right, buyer beware, right? Buyer beware. But I don't mind using eBay. That's okay. You only live once, right? So you can't be afraid of everything. I mean, there's many things that can take. I mean, for all I know, I could be crossing the street and some driver not paying attention could run me down in a hot second. So I just don't worry about it. It's all the what ifs and could happen, and yeah, I don't worry about it.
I mean most will try to make good stuff so you keep coming back.
mhm.
Yeah, I would, yeah, right. I would hope. Um, but to your point though, Anya, I can absolutely see your point. I mean, we have to, again, to reference a case of true crime, we have to also remember the Tylenol murders were a real thing. I mean,
Oh yeah.
so
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's important that we have our Food and Drug Administration to protect us because we do need protection from stuff.
well, and like you were saying earlier, Becca, I mean, new and novel ways of ending people's lives. I mean, hopefully that
Right.
hopefully that gets shut down under the new administration. I think there's a lot of things going to be changing under the new administration.
Yeah, and speaking of new new ways of ending human life. And you mentioned medications being like, tampered with or not quite right because something's added to them. Remember, what is that new and crazy drug that kills, like, when you get only a little tiny bit of it, and they're sneaking it in our medications and stuff here?
You
Like,
talking about fentanyl?
yeah, fentanyl. Yeah, like it's honestly, our FDA, I feel, is actually really important. But I can see how the FDA could be really abused too in the wrong hands.
Well, I don't know how close we are to our next commercial break, but that would allow me to kind of segue into the topic that I had in mind to discuss. But I'm
What's
kind of
that?
trying to wait. But I guess I can start now, though.
Yeah,
Um,
start.
yeah, I mean, right, and a lot of the fentanyl coming into this country, a lot of the chemical precursors are coming from China. Now, it appears that a lot of the fentanyl is coming from Mexico, but they're just basically putting it together. A lot of the precursor chemicals are coming from China. Now, what I wanted to talk about is something that President-elect Trump mentioned recently, and that is the Panama Canal, where we also see a lot of Chinese influence. They now basically control two, or have majority control of 2 out of the 5 ports of the Panama Canal, and they are heavily propagandizing. I would say, they're releasing Spanish language content that is, of course, very, very pro People's Liberation Army and Chinese Communist Party rhetoric. And I just, China is obviously adversarial to America, and although I know, that there are some critics of what well, our involvement in the Panama Canal, again, I am very pro America. I will happily point that out. And I just feel like in 1903, we helped Panama in declaring their independence from Colombia. And, I mean, we tried to do a very, very nice thing for Panama. And now China is trying to come in, and I don't like it.
Well, not only did we do something really nice for Panama in 1903 by helping them win their independence, but I don't remember the stats that President Trump cited when he spoke about the Panama Canal the other day, but he mentioned the number of years that we spent in building it and the number of our men who died building the Panama Canal. We spent American blood, treasure, and time building the Panama Canal.
And we're just handed it over to Chinese.
Yeah, that it doesn't make any sense. So I'm on the same page as President Trump. We need to get control of the Panama Canal back in American hands, or at least getting a fair shake at using it like the rest of the world. We shouldn't be freaking charged all these outrageous service charges and stuff when we built it.
Right. Correct. Now, some do say, and I don't know the numbers on this, but to be fair to who will likely be my critics, some do say that that is America, benefited economically to an unfair advantage. So I do hope that we can work with Panama to make a fair agreement. Not that we ever made an unfair agreement. I mean, again, we all can go and look at the treaties that were signed in 1903. That means Panama agreed with us. We all sat down and we all agreed. That's before there was quite all this double speak and backroom deals and all that. Panama agreed in 1903, and we agreed with Panama. So, but I can see where, hopefully, right, we can make a fair agreement with Panama.
Well, I didn't even think of that, what you mentioned about Chinese doing a lot of propaganda with the locals. I mean, it's
they are.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised. I just never thought of it.
Yeah, well, but I mean, it's just, it's amazing how diametrically opposed China is. I mean, when you consider what many people think is, we'll be back.
We'll be back after this commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Please stay with us.
Why don't they have blind people sections at sporting events? Why do I gotta pay the same price to not see shit? Okay? The Jumbotron ain't even built for me.
I am the business manager here at the Visually Impaired School of Arizona.
I see you brought the film crew. Make sure you get my good side.
All right, settle down and get focused on your tasks.
I teach the art of cuisine, child.
You wanna know the problem? The biggest problem in the blind community is you sighted people.
Just take your look over here.
Yeah, I don't know where that is, man.
Okay, you all need to turn off those cameras and just leave the building.
Wait, Joe, hold on.
Oh,
On your right.
You're on the right.
How would you know that the men you're dating are black?
No, this is not card member services. This is the Visually Impaired School of Arizona.
CJ, where are his pants?
I don't know.
Billy doesn't work here. He basically came with the building.
I can be the very first mayor of Blind Sylvania.
Make blind America great again.
There goes my pie.
This happens every day.
No, of
Sometimes.
course not.
Okay, are we
All
back?
right, we are back, and
We
that
are.
was the trailer for our award-winning television pilot called Don't Look Now. You can get more information at don'tlooknowtvofficial.com. Beck, I quantified our journey, which I will be putting posts out soon.
Okay, great.
16 official selections, 3 nominations, and 4 wins.
Oh, that's awesome, Gino. Thanks for sharing those
Thank
stats
you.
with us. And I wanted to remind our viewers that next month at the Chandler International Film Festival, right here in Chandler, Arizona, a hop, skip, and a jump from my house, you can come and see Don't Look Now live and in person at the film festival. And Gino and I may be in attendance. We're not sure if we're going to be available right now.
Oh, we will be in attendance.
Well, but that's not if we get tickets to the inauguration, because the inauguration is going on. And we won't know until early January if we made the cut, So, anyway.
You know, Becca. Listen, I'm in the running for that as well. My name is in that hat as well. So
Good for you,
if
Brandon.
Wait, what?
if I get it and you don't, I'll go and if you would permit me. Honestly, I'm serious. If you would permit me, I would be happy to be an emissary of the blind community to President-elect Trump.
Wait. How do you guys get tickets for inauguration?
Oh, so Gino can tell you and your husband off air, Anya.
Well,
It-
here
it
I
was
can
kind
tell
of-
all of the audience members who are if they want to support the. My God, it's a monumental thing. I mean, look, whether you like this man or don't like this man, you don't like his rhetoric, it is a once in a lifetime thing. And Donald J. Trump just won 2 non-consecutive terms, which has only ever been done by Grover Cleveland on the Democrat side over 100 years ago. So it is a big deal. Again, whether you support him or not, it's a once in a lifetime inauguration. Anyone that is interested, you have to reach out to your state officials, state senate. They should have on the government website for every state information on the inauguration. And it is a first come, first serve. I think you basically just fill out your information and they'll contact you. And Becca already got her response that I guess they will send out information at the beginning of the year on whether or not they, because they only have so many for each state that can go.
Yeah. I actually got an email from Senator Mark Kelly's office informing me that they had received my application for 4 tickets for the inauguration and that they would be letting everybody know in early January. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty
exciting.
Cool. Yeah.
Doesn't it? Okay, so I know things are different now, and Trump is coming and all that, but doesn't make you guys little, I don't know, uneasy knowing what happened to people who went to Washington on January 6th 4 years ago?
I'm not scared. I like this. I would die for my country, right? And I would die for President Trump because he would die for our country. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not scared of going. I would gladly die in my attempt to meet President Trump or be president at his inauguration. You know, what a way to go.
No, I would go too. Again, if the do, I suppose. But again, what they did to those.
Yeah, but that was in July, and I'm sure that the inauguration is going to be better guarded and better. They'll have better arrangements made for, because an inauguration is always bigger than a campaign event, which is what that was in July. It was a campaign event, I believe, in Butler, Pennsylvania, that President Trump was at when he was shot.
Well, and I'll just add that I do feel very blessed and fortunate. There were some people who were calling for me to make an appearance at the January 6th event that I think most of us are familiar with, and I was not able to attend that. But this time, if I am one of the ones able to be in attendance at the inauguration, I would absolutely go, and let come what may. Let come what may, because I agree with you, Becca, and I'm sure that I'm on somebody's list because I have indirectly communicated and given financial support to President-elect Trump. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm sure that it's already been documented, and I don't care that it has. So I would be honored to be in attendance at that event, the inauguration of, the 47th president of the United States.
Yeah, well, so Gino and I each put in for 4 tickets. If I get it, I'm going to take myself, of course, my son David, and Gino, and then I have 1 ticket left because my sister has already said that she's sure she can't go. And I'm not sure which 4 Gino's planning on taking if he gets drawn. He better take me as one of his 4 guests. But
like, you requested 4 tickets, but what if they give you like 2?
I don't know how it works. I have no idea. Maybe they will give us 1 or 2, but maybe not all 4. I don't know.
It's my understanding that the president-elect is going to cover travel as well as lodging. So
really?
it would be quite a momentous thing.
Oh, well, I wasn't expecting President Trump or anybody to pay for our travel expenses. We were going to pay for that ourselves. Just the idea of getting to go is amazing. Wow, that'd be cool if President Trump paid for
No, but that's what I meant, the flight, but lodging the night before as well.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
For everyone?
Is that for everybody that's invited to that makes the cut and gets?
I never heard anything about that. I assumed that we would have to pay for our own travel and lodging.
Yeah,
because that's a lot of people to pay for.
Yeah, that is. But
I don't work for the campaign. I only know what I read, and again, I don't have any kind of finalized confirmation of anything yet either. So
yeah. I'm just really excited at this opportunity, and I'm really hoping that either one of us gets drawn so that we can go. So
I actually tried to work for the Trump campaign back in 2020, and I sent, but never heard back. I offered I said that I'm a multilingual and I work in customer service, so I could to people and talk, but no, they never got back with me, unfortunately.
Yeah, I tried multiple times to get in touch with Carrie Lake's campaign and volunteer with it, and I couldn't get a hold of anybody, and I never did have a chance. I never saw anywhere where I could try to get a hold of President Trump's campaign and help with it. Good for you, Anya, for doing that.
Yeah, and of course, I have a friend who totally hates Trump, and he goes, "See, Trump, the time of day." I was like, well, are you crazy? I mean, first of all, it's not Trump himself who handles correspondence.
Right.
And they have a lot of issues to deal with, a lot of people to work with. So I was not upset. And disappointed a little, but not upset, especially with Trump.
Yeah.
Well, and I think he's doing a lot of good. And, everything from what he's going to try to do to make America healthy again, working with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And, the other thing I was going to mention, apparently China is now being investigated by America, even for some of their legacy chips. I mean, we've just, there's a lot that we need to do in terms of China right now is ahead of us in their ability to work on artificial intelligence projects. I know President Trump put forth some nominees, like technological nominees recently. And it's just, we got to make this country as good as it can possibly be.
Yeah. And this time he has more people on his side than during his first term.
Yeah, I think this is going to be like, when did President Trump say that this is going to be the beginning of a golden age for America? And I totally agree with him.
Yeah, hopefully. Did you guys hear that they're going to ban TikTok? I don't know if it's true or not, but I thought
I heard President Trump say that he's actually going to try to figure out a way to save TikTok.
Huh. I just heard that the Chinese are spying a lot in collecting Americans' data.
Yeah, they were saying that, and it's still going on. But with proper restraints in place, proper safeguards and stuff, TikTok could be a viable tool that could be used and enjoyed by all of us, right? But the proper safeguards and tools have to be put in place. And I believe President Trump can figure out how to do it. He can put the proper things in place so it'll be safe for all of us to use. And the Chinese government can still make some money off of it, right? But it needs to be fixed. It has to be properly regulated. So
yeah. I think I'd rather see President Trump invent something new yet again, like what he did with Truth Social. I care nothing about supporting the Chinese economy. If they're so smart and they're so clever and we're so dumb and we're so, evil and backward and everything they try to propagandize their people into believing, well, then figure it out yourself, China. I care nothing about supporting your economy at all.
So, Brandon, do you use Truth Social?
No, I actually don't. And that's because it took it a while to come out on Android. I think it is now available for Android. But I just haven't, really got on there just because I do use X though. And the president-elect does use X as well.
Yeah. I love X and I use X all the time, but I only very recently started trying to use Truth Social, and it doesn't seem to be 100% accessible to me. I'm having some accessibility issues with Truth Social, but I've only tried it to play with it a few times. So I might get better at it. I might learn some more things about it. I just wanted to know, have you tried Truth Social?
No, I have not. I see on X reposts from there sometimes, but not the app, no. And even with X, I'm having trouble. I don't know. Brandon, you won't be helpful because you have Android and I have iPhone, but I do encounter some accessibility problems with.
Yeah, it seems like most of the buttons on X, most of them are pretty good, well marked, but I find that a lot of the buttons on Truth Social don't appear to be marked, and it's really frustrating.
Well, do they have, like,
in my limited defense, I would be helpful if I could. However, I feel like Apple is not doing near as good a job as they once did, where accessibility is concerned on iOS.
Oh,
yeah, you may be right. I mean, I have problems with lots of updates. Like Facebook is messed up sometimes. YouTube, something that used to work just fine.
Oh my gosh, I haven't been able to use my banking app for at least 6 months because of some accessibility thing.
Who are you banking with?
Well, it's my credit union, and every time I log in, it just kicks me out. And it's been going on for several months now. And I've been to my credit union. They've had their troubleshooting department trying to figure it out. I'm sure I've gone to Apple too about it. Nobody can figure it out. And I've deleted my phone and re-downloaded everything, and nothing works. It irritates me.
Yeah. I bank with Wells Fargo, and they seem to be pretty good accessibility wise.
Oh yeah, Wells Fargo is very accessible. I used to bank with Wells Fargo, but I bank with this credit union now, and I love this credit union. I like it because they're smaller than Wells Fargo, so I get more personal service, and they're really like good people in there, and it's member owned. So like when you go in and you're looking for a loan or something like that, you get a much better deal from the people you're talking to because you're a member, right? Instead of someone coming in off the street with your hat in hand asking for a favor. So, but yeah, but Wells Fargo is very accessible. Like I banked with them for years. I had their raised checks. Like when I was like 20 years old and I got my first checkbook, it was raised lines, and the checks were like bright colored, like bright orange or yellow or something. I never, like, my color perception was really bad back then, but it was like bright yellow or orange. And like I said, the lines were not only were they raised, but they were dark, like they were bolder lines, so I could see them visually as well as use the raised lines for writing checks. And then later on, when I started learning how to use a debit card and a credit card and stuff, of course I got my cards through Wells Fargo, and all of your debit and credit cards from Wells Fargo, you can get all of them in Braille.
Yeah, I have that too.
Oh yeah, and you can, Wells Fargo is really awesome for accessibility, but they were just way too big for me.
I used to bank with Bank of America for a while, and I asked them to send me the card in Braille. So guess what they sent me?
What?
They sent me a regular card, and in the envelope there was a piece of paper, like just plain Braille paper with my card number on it. Okay, thanks. And
they gave me a card protector that had the Braille number on it as well. I'm a current Bank of America customer, and I'll just point out Wells Fargo and Bank of America are now in trouble for mismanagement of the Zelle platform. So maybe I'll get $5 or $10 from B of A. That's okay. All right.
Didn't Wells Fargo also get in trouble for ripping off their clients a few years ago? Like, wasn't there some mass theft going on?
Yeah, they created fake accounts that the clients never even knew about.
Yeah, so there was so much crap going on with Wells Fargo. Honestly, over the years, because I was with Wells Fargo for 30 years, you guys. I banked with Wells Fargo for 30 years almost. And so it was really a hard decision for me deciding to leave Wells Fargo. But with all of the fishy and shady crap Wells Fargo's been involved with, I really just finally had to make the cut.
Wow.
And B of A is no better. I'm not defending them.
Yeah.
What happened with Zelle? I didn't hear anything about Zelle trouble.
Oh, I don't know all the details. Either the security wasn't what it should have been, or they charged fees that they should not have, or I don't know. But I mean, these banks again, these big corporate fat cat bigwigs think, oh well, we're so smart and so intelligent and much more than you peons. Well, okay, guys, then get your platform straight, or else you can pay me $20. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's better to deal with a local, just some small local bank. You can always call. There'll be a person on the phone.
Yeah.
Instead of a machine. Well, Wells Fargo is not very often, but sometimes those phone trees just crazy. You just go in circles.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Arrived to the end of our show.
Yes.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Join us again next week.
Bye.
Merry Christmas, one and all. Everybody have a safe and Merry Christmas. God bless you all.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching Betcha's World. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.